Hello friends and welcome back for another episode of Indie Impressions. My name is Nick and today we're going to be checking out something called Paradis Perdus, and my apologies if the pronunciation is not perfectly correct on that, but I believe it means Lost Paradises. It is a experimental sort of first-person exploration game with maybe a bit of a dark twist to it by developer Sergei Mohov. And the deal here is essentially we're going to be wandering around in a very beautiful world looking for some crystals, and something kind of ominous is going to start happening while we're doing that. So I should jump right into things. This title screen is not quite indicative of just how pretty this game is, so why don't we jump into it? Alright, so this is more like it. This is kind of our style here, isn't it? It's a very colorful game. It's got a lot of rainbow stuff going on, a lot of crystals, and very large polygons, which is a style that I think I can kind of get into. It reminds me a little bit of like the landscape of something like Darwinia, perhaps. So this is actually a menu screen. This is start over on the left, and quit is this red crystal on the bottom. I accidentally clicked that the first time as I didn't realize what it was. I was just kind of randomly clicking around the screen. Anyway, let's start it out, and we'll see what we can see. So I did spend a couple of minutes with this one before I got into things, and I have to say I was pretty pleasantly surprised with this. I'm told that it might be an alpha version of the game. I'm not sure if it's continuing on in development or not, so I'm not sure where quite to classify this one. But regardless, it is free and downloadable right now if you'd like to go check it out. So we've got a large cave-like area here with some pretty white particles raining from the sky. I'm not sure if this is a skylight and maybe that's just the dust in the air or what. But this seems to be the portal that we've emerged from, and there seems to be some crystals sort of inviting us and beckoning us in this direction. So I will comply, and we shall see maybe if this is going to take us to the landscape I was promised, the paradise that I've been looking for all this time. And indeed it does appear to do so, and it's a very verdant, beautiful world outside. So let's go have a look at the world. Oh, and I see a crystal already. So that is all of the bloom. Actually, quite painful on the eyes, actually, if you're not expecting it. And I should mention, too, that this might be a little bit on the flashy side when it comes to, you know, color schemes. So I say this with respect to people who might have issues with epilepsy. There's a part later on where you might want to avert your eyes or maybe just be aware that that might happen. I'm not 100% sure if it will in our case. So I've got to find a way to get up this mountain, and I'm not sure quite exactly how to do that. But as you might notice here, the land that I'm starting to touch is turning red and sort of wilting away and dying, and it's actually now turning, yeah, orange to red, and browns and all sorts of colors are happening. And you might think at first, oh look, it's autumn. But if you watch this long enough, you'll start to realize that actually what we're doing is we're eating away at the ground. We're sort of a toxic, parasitic life form that everywhere we touch seems to be destroyed. So I believe there's actually a pretty good statement here to be made. You know, basically we've discovered this paradise, and in the process of trying to enjoy it, we've kind of corrupted and tainted it. And you can see the polygons that make up this ground are now actually being eaten away to the extent that they're just vanishing. Which is actually something we have to be aware of, because if we want to catch all these crystals, we're actually going to have to not walk over the same path too many times. And as far as these crystals go, they may be moving around. I thought the first time I had seen one, it was not in that same position. So there's a chance that every time you play this, it might be a little bit different. And this landscape is surprisingly larger than you might expect as well. It's a really cool look. I really like it. I would love to see sort of like a Minecraft-style game done like this. Actually, I think there might have been one, and I just never tried it out. Can't remember the title off the top of my head, though. So things are actually starting to get pretty messed up now, as you've noticed. There's this flashing, flickering stuff going on in front of my eyes. Some noise filter action going on. And it's a little disconcerting. It's warping the music. It's making things start to glitch out a little bit. And I'm just still looking to try and grab that crystal. I'm assuming that there aren't positions that I can't get to. Because it seems like our character is able to walk up some pretty sheer cliff faces. But this particular spot might be quite tricky for me. I'm thinking I'm in the right spot? I don't even know anymore if I am. Uh-oh. Oh, geez. I've fallen into a pit. And this may be my undoing, actually. Nobody said this was 100% perfect, but yeah, until these polygons on the right disappear, I think I'm stuck in here. I'm not really able to jump around and get out, so I may have to just take over the team and wait until I am finished off by the land disappearing. There's so much more still to see and so much to do. I haven't even gotten any of the crystals yet. Well, not like things drastically change once I do, but I guess I won't have to stare at nothing for too much longer. And yes, I am trying to jump up this very steep slope. There's kind of like a snow trap in here, I suppose. We'll see once these vanish if I'm able to actually maybe bounce my way up along the edge of this snow path, or if maybe I'll just fall in the pit and start over. So these are now deep crimson. I think are about 1 or 2 steps away from transforming into nothingness. Do they go black first? Oh, geez. Oh, the ground is... Oh, I've fallen off. Wow, alright, that was a little wild. An exit is an entry point. You go through the other way, by Boris Vian. Alright, fair enough. Well, things got a little ominous there, didn't they? It's very creepy, actually, once the music starts to go in that direction. So let's reload, and we will see about perhaps exploring a little bit more effectively next time, and see if possibly we can avoid landing in a spot where there might be an unescapable pit, we'll say. Alright, so let's go back into the crystals again. And we are seamlessly transitioned back into this cave one more time. Now, it doesn't appear that the ground is corrupted in this stone area. And I'm not entirely sure if every piece of structure can be corrupted, or if it's just, you know, the pretty plains. I guess we'll pay attention to that as well. I was kind of trying to step on a rock at one point to see if that would do the same thing as it's doing here. I can't quite remember how that turned out. Really nice music, by the way, as well, I should mention. I try to make the music loud enough that you should hear it without too much difficulty. By the way, that loud crashing sound is the rocks closing in behind me, so I don't have anywhere to hide. Just in case I wanted to try and escape this plague that I'm leaving behind me. It doesn't appear that the crystal is there anymore, so I guess they do sort of randomly spawn in. So that's alright. That'll give us another opportunity to wander a little bit more. And maybe we can cut a swath across the land, and then when we turn around, we'll be able to see a little bit better right where we were. There's a game I had played that was sort of like a collaborative multiplayer game with a really strange, like a surreal, almost like a pastel aesthetic. I think it was called Love Plus. And this is reminding me a little bit of that. Oh, I've gotten one of the crystals, and we are rewarded with a beautiful harp solo or something, and then the ground all got tainted in that whole area. So I guess picking up the crystals is sort of like going to speed up and to expedite this process of corrupting the land. And there seems to be 2 more. You can see there's a little interface bit up in the top left corner there. I haven't gotten all of them yet, so I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen if I do get them all. I'm going to guess probably all the land will get corrupted at the same time, but I'm not entirely sure of that. You know, kind of a nice byproduct of this fact that we're leaving this trail behind us is it actually is going to give us a way to see where we have and haven't been. So at a kind of a glance, we'll be able to just look around and just see, oh, well, this is a place I've been, this is a place I haven't. And eventually, the areas that I've touched will start to drop away to the extent that maybe all that will be left are the places that I can still find a crystal in. So I guess by process of elimination, we may end up finding the correct place. Oh goodness, why does that happen so fast sometimes? Like, certain things I touch just trigger a big chunk to disappear. I see another crystal over there. And I'm starting to wonder how I'm even going to get over to it. Because it looked kind of like most of the ground was gone already. It's also reminding me a little bit of the game where, like, the ground was getting warped by that tractor beam. And I had to kind of stay ahead of things. And also, if you might notice, when I stand on decayed ground, it seems like I walk much, much faster, which is kind of a nice thing to do because it gives the player an opportunity to run away. I guess I've touched over here. I didn't think I had. Oh, you know what else it might be? Maybe having touched the same ground multiple times expedites the decay process, or the other option, maybe things are actually getting infected by adjacent tiles. I think that's probably pretty likely to be the case as well. So the more things you touch, the faster things are going to spread out, sort of like the corruption or the crimson in Terraria. Oh, geez. Everything's disappearing. At least it looks kind of pretty as things are vanishing, though. Oh, there seems to be a large swath of land over here. Oh, geez. Oh, I made it across, but just barely. I was expecting to fall in there. That was actually surprisingly exciting. So, and also I mentioned before about the rock. I'm not sure if the rock was going to disappear. It does seem to be that that is the case. Maybe it's just if all the ground underneath it vanishes, then it will as well. Oh, what is this? Is this our way out? Maybe if I get all the crystals, I'm supposed to come into here. And what does that do? Does that bring me back out? Oh, that is pretty. Oh, maybe this is going to give me an overview of the ground and what's left of it. Sort of like a top-down map. Yeah, you can actually see everything rotting right in front of us. What a strange game. It gives me some kind of like, some chills a little bit, because it's both really beautiful and also kind of sad at the same time. So I guess there you can see the entire map. I'm not sure where those other crystals ended up being. And this is telling me that I can press enter to start. This isn't procedurally generated, is it? Because I kind of feel like I didn't see that mountain last time. I don't know. There's a lot of what-ifs and things I'm wondering about. So I'm going to leave that up to you guys to go check out. Really cool game. Really glad that I found this one. Link's going to be in the description, so you guys can check it out as well. Super accessible game. You don't really need to know much about anything. You just jump in and walk around for a bit. Also, in case you were wondering what was up with like the flashing that I mentioned for, you know, people with epilepsy, I think it was mostly the waterfalls that I was warning people against. If I stand too close to them, you can see at the base of the waterfalls, there's like a big old pile of polygons that wiggles around. You gotta be careful around those, that's all. Anyway, I'm gonna let you go for another day. Thank you everybody for watching. As always, go check out the game, leave a comment, let me know what you thought about it, and please do come back again tomorrow. New episodes of Indie Impressions go up every single day, so I'll see you back for another one tomorrow, and I hope you have a terrific night. Talk to you later.